Lance, this is a straight up confession. When I saw you for the first time, I made my own opinions of you. You were obviously different. Like, he's been through something. I don't know what it is. When did you start playing hockey?
I started playing sled hockey when I believe I was 10 or 11. I remember getting on the ice the first time. And one of the biggest things in sled hockey is when you fall over, you have to learn to get back up. As soon as I got off that ice, I was like, I love this. When I was going through treatment at Children's Pittsburgh, I met this boy named Connor. Unfortunately, Connor passed away, and in his name, the WWE started a charity called Connor's Cure.
Do you still keep in touch with any of the doctors at Children's?
Yes, Dr. Jakaki, Dr. Reggie Jakaki. That woman is my guardian angel. She saved my life. I don't think I've met a doctor who cared more about what they did than her.
If there's someone out there, Lance, that is either battling a terminal illness or a severe illness or is a loved one of someone who is, what kind of message do you have for them?
I would say
Welcome to the Barbells and Bourbon podcast, where, as ChatGPT describes me, is Joe Rogan meets Dr. Phil. I am your big, bald, bearded, barbell lifting, bourbon drinking son of a bitch, Sean. And joining me today is Lance Hupkovich.
hello. Hello.
Hi, Lance. Welcome to our home.
Thank you for having me.
You brought your dad, Brent.
I did.
He's sitting out of sight, but we're going to bring him in for a few questions because, he knows a lot about your life when you were young and maybe you don't remember. So I want to get his opinions on some things. But Lance, most kids at age 4 are only focused on playing with toys and watching cartoons. You found yourself fighting for your life. At what point did you kind of realize that your life was going to be a little bit different than most?
I think it was well when I was initially in preschool, and we started to kind of notice different things. My teacher started reporting different things to like my mom and my dad, like he's not like cutting things out with crafts like with his right hand like he normally does, or he's just acting a little differently. And then we went to the doctors, and then like I don't know how it all led to another, but eventually it led to me being diagnosed with an inoperable a brain tumor. And I just remember like going through the hospital and stuff, and like eventually they admitted me to a room, and I had no idea what was going on. I remember saying to my mother, I was like, do I have to live here?
Oh, wow.
'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't know I was 4. I was just like,
First time in a hospital.
yeah.
Were you afraid? Do you remember how you felt?
I wouldn't necessarily say I was so much afraid. I was just like, I was confused. I just didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine at age 4 going to the hospital, not knowing what was happening. I'm sure your parents were the ones taking on most of that fear with whatever your diagnosis was. You sit here, 19 years old, healthy. Um, how many times were you told that you shouldn't survive?
Well, I was never told myself, but my parents were told twice that I had 3 months to live.
Brent,
And
how did you feel when you heard those words?
uh, obviously devastated. Um, we knew the seriousness of Lance's condition because of the location of the tumor. We were doing everything in the world that was possible. Um, the cutting edge technology and the most that we could do for Lance's condition was being done in Pittsburgh. So we trusted our doctors. The doctor that we had, she was like an angel on Lance's shoulder. We still keep in contact with her. I trusted her.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing that I learned through the whole process is it's a team effort. You have to be involved. Sometimes you have to remove the emotion from decisions, but you have to trust the doctor.
Yeah. So if you couldn't hear, Brent basically said that he was devastated. Both, mom and dad were devastated, rightfully so. And they got some pretty special treatment here in Pittsburgh, and that is where we are filming from. And I do want to get a little bit more information about what that treatment was. You told me about it, but I want to hear it again. I don't want to define you as what you've been through. You have an identity beyond battling cancer. Okay, you have a lot of interests. Which is what I want to talk about. We met at the gym. I believe I approached you first. I saw you and your dad there many times, and I admired the effort that you put in. And you seem very serious and focused. And having your dad by your side, being your cheerleader, it was kind of emotional for me to see that. And I think I came up to you and said, "You're killing it. Like, keep going." Gave you a fist bump, and now here you are. We're buddies now, and I think that's amazing. But I want to take a step back. Obviously, I know it happened when you were 4 years old. There's more to your childhood than that. So, where did you guys grow up?
I grew up here in Plum.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, always been a Plum boy.
Yeah. So the first memory of childhood, was it this diagnosis, or do you remember things before that?
I remember some things before it. I remember roughly same time frame. Actually at preschool, we hatched butterflies, cocoons. I remember that. I remember playing around. A lot of my memories were at preschool, as a 4-year-old would.
Sure.
I remember watching Blue's Clues at home. Like I remember some things. I grew up with until that point, I grew up as a normal child. I was active, I was happy, I was healthy. I My mom described me as a runner. I love to run,
Yeah.
which not so much anymore, but I was a fast kid.
And you still do have some speed and some quickness. Any siblings?
Yes, so my sister Olivia, if you're watching this.
She better be watching. Younger, older?
Older sister.
Okay.
Older sister.
Do you remember what your relationship was like with her as a child?
I always thought we were pretty close. I mean, as we kind of got to maybe like when I was like 10 and she was, we were a little more like, oh, we'd fight over the TV remote, but it was never like, oh, I don't like my sibling. It was always just that normal like sibling kind of
Little rivalry.
Yeah.
How much older is she?
She is 24 and I'm 19,
Okay,
so
5 years.
Yeah.
So a decent gap.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, you were obviously diagnosed with this tumor at age 4. Talk to me about what life was like after that point. I know you sort of alluded to a few things when we started this conversation, but tell me about childhood, age 4 or 5, with this tumor.
I remember a lot of it was at the hospital. Well, a lot of it was at the hospital, but then it would be like hospital, home, institute, home, hospital, institute. I just kind of bounce around, it felt. And I was always in like a different hospital room. I was on different floors, just different things. I remember going to radiation. Occasionally I'd do it awake, and then sometimes I was like, this was at 4 years old. They used to give me propofol to help me fall asleep, because it's radiation. I don't think a 4 or 5-year-old really wants to sit through that. And I was like, I don't want propofol. It makes me fall asleep. I don't want to do that. I said, because I just like, I didn't like how the anesthesia made me feel after.
Okay.
And they put like it's kind of like a hockey mask or something over me during radiation. And I talked to my mom over they had like an intercom that I could listen to. And I remember making like that conscious decision
Yeah.
when I was like at that age.
That's wild that you recognized that it made you feel funny and you didn't want that medicine anymore.
I had a lot of MRIs. And then when I actually got that treatment, the treatment that saved my life, they injected it into my thighs. I remember going to that. That was very painful. Um, yeah, it was just, and I don't want to say it was all bad there at Children's Hospital Pittsburgh, because it is. They do everything that they possibly can to make those kids comfortable.
Yep.
The playrooms, I remember they had these installed in like all the hospital rooms. They had Nintendo GameCube games, so I could play them on demand. So
You probably wanted to go to the
oh
hospital.
my, I loved that. They put me in a room one time, and I was like, they didn't have the GameCube games installed in that one, and I'm like, can somebody come in and put those in for me?
I demand. Yeah, that's so funny.
So I don't want to say it was all. I mean, obviously,
The situation was bad.
yes.
But your stay there and the treatment that you got and the care that you got wasn't bad.
No, it was wonderful.
Good.
The doctors there, I owe my life to them. Like they did everything.
It's amazing. Did you stop schooling while you were going through all your treatments?
I was in and out a lot. I remember going to, at that time it was Adelaide Stevenson, which
Right up the road from here.
rest in peace, Adelaide Stevenson,
Yes.
no longer there. I think it was either in kindergarten or first grade, and they were like, we have a very special guest here, and they pointed over, and I looked out the door, and I'm like, who's coming? They were like, you, and I'm like, what? Because I didn't really think anything was going on. I was just like, I'm going to school.
So like your
So-
first day back, they made a big deal about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
How did that make you feel? Good or weird or?
I don't think I understood it.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, I'm at school, and then like, I guess it's a good thing I'm here.
Yeah, they were celebrating that you were okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, that shows your humility. You're humble, right? Like it's never about you. And I did talk to you about that. Is you're a very humble person. Yeah. So how did your childhood change? Like when did you finally start having a normal childhood again where you're back in school, hanging out with your friends? Do you remember that?
It was roughly around third grade where I started going back like at a fuller time, like full time, mostly full time. Obviously, I had at that point when I was younger, I still had more appointments that I had to go to. I still had to go to physical and occupational therapy, but I was able to go to school a lot more consistently because I was in a much more stable state. Um, and then as like I got closer to like fifth grade, sixth grade, and seventh grade, that's when things really got like pretty much back to normalcy. Of you're back at like you're good.
Yeah. So you were celebrated when you returned to school for the first time after your, I guess, initial treatment. How have kids treated you throughout this in school?
For the most part, I mean, obviously you get a couple who think that they're, you know, you know what I'm saying. But for the most part, no one really treated me like I was different, and that's not how I want to be treated. I don't want to be treated like, oh, this guy had cancer, so we have to talk to him differently, treat him differently. I want things to be, I'm your equal. I am your, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't like being like separated because I used to be in school occasionally. I would be put in like the special education, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just
But you
that's
weren't
not.
special needs.
They didn't know how to exactly treat someone in my situation,
Yeah.
and I'm not. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just
They were probably erring on the side of caution.
right.
Right.
It's just that's not who I am.
Yeah. You were an equal. And what you went through, again, doesn't define who you are. But yeah, I mean, to them, you can't really fault them. How many students do they have who have survived brain cancer? It's like, I wouldn't know how to treat them either. So they were probably just trying to be careful and making sure you have the right care and things.
Because at this time where I was coming back, I still needed like I'd need like more time to kind of maybe walk the hallways or something, or I need more time to do an assignment or something. So they had to make adjustments. It was just it's different kinds of adjustments for someone like that in that situation.
Sure. So after your treatments, how was your physical and your mental abilities sort of slowed, I guess? Did you have any trouble walking, or you mentioned, you needed more time to take tests and stuff. Tell me about that.
So this was kind of a side effect of my treatment and the steroids that they gave me during treatment, Decadron. Um, the hunger that steroid gave me at at that age was I
Could eat
remember
eat the house. Yeah.
yes, I remember I was young, I was really young. I once had 7 grilled cheese sandwiches in one meal
Oh my
at
gosh.
like 4 or 5 years old, which
Holy
is just
crap. That's not
and
normal.
no, I don't think I could do that now. Um, and it just caused me to balloon like crazy. Like it just my cheeks were puffy. I couldn't like my shirts didn't fit me.
So
It
did you get fat, or was it just like water retention, or both?
I kind of think it was both. There's kind of a timeline to this where, and this is actually kind of how we can kind of bridge this into how I got into fitness. Um, so when I started, it was kind of at this point we didn't know if I was going to survive or not. So it was kind of my parent, my parents, my mom and my dad just kind of gave me whatever I wanted because we didn't really
They wanted you to live your best
right.
life.
And then once I got better, I was still you hold on to that weight when you're off of treatment. So there's kind of this like how can you readjust to normal life and eating like normal eating habits and just normal habits in general after you're done with treatment and you're done with all this stuff. So it was up until like 7th or 8th grade. I just kind of ate whatever, and I was a kid. I didn't know like that. Like I didn't know any better,
Most kids just eat what they want.
and
They don't put any thought to it.
I just put in whatever I want, and then I kind of realized like because as I kind of bridged into well this was for sled hockey as well. I wanted to become a better athlete and better at my sport. And then I started realizing, well, oh, I should start training and start like, exercising and eating healthy, and that'll make me a better athlete. And then I kind of realized, oh, this is what I'm putting into my body.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, so I start looking on, YouTube, how to lose weight fast, how to, ab workouts, and the rite
The
of
typical,
the rite of
right.
passage.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes. YouTube.
so then I started to track my calories, and I was probably 14 or 15 at this point, which I wouldn't necessarily say as a 14 or 15-year-old you should be tracking your calories.
That just shows your discipline, honestly.
And at this point, I think I was about 220 pounds at 14 or 15.
Wow.
And right now, I'm sitting at about 180 pounds.
So 40
So,
pounds heavier than you are now.
s-
Like roughly the same height.
yes,
Because at age 14, you're pretty much,
same height, yeah.
Wow, okay.
It made a huge difference into my life because at this point, like it was harder for me to walk around. Like I could walk at this point, no problem, but it was harder at this point.
Just because of the
I
extra
was
weight
just
you had.
carrying
Yeah.
extra weight,
Sure.
and it's so much better now.
Yeah.
It's everything is better now.
Yeah, we will talk about fitness in a little bit more depth coming up here soon.
Mhm.
But Brent, at what point did you feel like Lance was sort of like out of the woods?
Uh, that's tough. You know, I'd lie if I said I still don't think about it every day. Um, because there still is a mass there in his brainstem. Um, when he got to finally ring the bell when he was a certain time frame out, and the doctors stated that with this type of cancer, if they make it past this amount of years, it's usually good. Um, the biggest thing with Lance's diagnosis was the location. Um, Even if it wasn't malignant, it would be labeled malignant by location, simply because any mass that's in that area that grows is going to do the damage.
Sure.
And that's where a lot of the partial paralysis on his right hand side came from. And all the treatments that he was being given, that's where the steroids came into effect, because we were trying to combat the swelling and keep that down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when he finally got to ring the bell, we felt good, but yeah, it was a long time. Pretty confident now. He's doing good, you know. But yeah,
Yeah. So Brent said that he still thinks about it every day. Understandably so. I would too as a parent. But, once you rang the bell, what age did you ring the bell?
It was only last year, so I was either probably 18. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it was very recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Great moment, huh?
yeah. Wonderful.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you that you got to do that. Well, what did you do? So you get into high school, you went to Plum. My daughter downstairs went to Plum. You guys were a year removed, right? You graduated
Around. I graduated in 24.
24. Okay. What do you remember about high school?
Well, my first year, freshman year, the craziest thing happened called the global pandemic. So, I had freshman year in my bedroom, basically, of, logging on to Zoom class, and that's pretty much all I remember there.
What did you think about that? Did you like the fact that you didn't have to go to school? Did you hate it? Was it kind of depending on the day?
Starting, I was like, this is awesome. I don't have to go in. By like the middle to the end of the school year, I was like, this is terrible.
Like, I want to
hate
see
this.
people.
I hate this.
Yeah.
What I used to think I hated of going to school, and eventually I learned to hate it again. Don't worry. But I was just like, I need to go back. This is terrible.
Yeah. What was your friend circle like in school?
I didn't have like a huge friend group. Right now I still have like the same friends I had in high school. I probably had maybe 10, which I've always said I'd much rather have 10 really good friends that like I can trust I than have like
100
a bunch.
acquaintances. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was never like I was always like I tried to stay chill with everybody just for the sake of it. I had no reason to be like, oh, I'm not talking to them. But I was also just like, I don't know, I just kind of did my own thing, and whoever I ended up talking to more and more and more became like my good friends.
It pays to be nice,
It does.
right?
It does.
It's crazy the people you attract when you're a good person, isn't it? High school for me was very different. I went to high school. I graduated in 97. Much older than you. You got me beat, buddy. But school was very different back then. I hear from my children that went through school, it was very different. It was, I think, much more cliquey when I was in school. Not that there's not cliques now, but I was bullied a lot. I don't know. Were you bullied at all?
Not really.
Good.
No. Like it was never like, and if it was just like I just kind of thought like, man, who hurt you? Like
I use that phrase all the time.
like who hurt you bad enough where you have to bully someone? And I don't want to pull the someone who has cancer card, but like, really,
Yeah, that's pretty low.
I'm like, whatever, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I was bullied for a different reason. I was very skinny in school. I was 160 pounds, I think, when I graduated, and wore glasses. And when I had hair, I parted it to the side. I didn't do myself any favors with my style, but yeah, I was picked on a lot. And I still feel that to this day, and it created who I am today. And that's what got me into fitness, because I was like, if I'm just a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger, no one's going to pick on me. And it worked just a little bit too late in life, but here we are. Well, I'm glad you weren't bullied too much, because bullying is a terrible thing and bullies suck. So if you're a bully, you suck. Out of high school, you're 19 now. You've only been out of high school for a year. What are you getting yourself into now? Wait, first, when did you start playing hockey?
I started playing sled hockey when I believe I was 10 or 11. So right as like I got into fifth or sixth grade. So this is kind of when stuff started to really pick up for me. Like health was good, but I needed some kind of activity, because going back to getting roped into a group that wasn't necessarily part of. Before I found sled hockey, I played Miracle League baseball, which is a wonderful program. It's just it wasn't the right fit for me.
Because of your abilities?
Yes, it's catered towards the like
The more disabled,
yes,
for lack of a better term.
and it wasn't the right fit for me. And then through physical therapy, my therapist was like, "Have you heard about this sport called sled hockey? There's this group called the Mighty Penguins. They're out in Cranberry, and this is like a really good adaptive sport." And I never really was like, "What is sled hockey?" Like I knew what baseball was, but like sled hockey. And
So when you sent me the video of you playing sled hockey, I knew you played hockey. I assumed you played ice hockey on skates. And then I saw what your version of hockey was, and I had never heard of it either. So
the first time you see it, it is like, whoa. Like I'm not. What is this? I remember getting on the ice the first time. And one of the biggest things in sled hockey is when you fall over, you have to learn to get back up. You are on your side and you gotta like push up and like gotta rotate up.
it's like rolling a kayak over,
Yeah,
right?
it's similar. Um and that's like the biggest thing that you need to learn. And that's kind of what can deter a lot of people from getting into the sport. And it took me a while to learn to get up, trust me. But um as soon as I got off that ice, I was like, I love this. This is
You found your passion.
this is awesome. And he can attest to this. I initially started, I was like, oh, I don't want to play competitively. I just want to like, go to practices and have some fun. We had one home tournament. This was in the novice level. It was half ice. Um, and we went into a shootout, and I was goalie. I never wanted to be a goalie at this point as well. I wanted to be a skater. He persuaded me, and we won silver in the shootout in the championship of this tournament. And I got off that ice, and I'm like, I want to play competitively. I'm like, this is awesome. Like this is what that feels like.
Yeah. What made you choose goalie?
They needed a goalie.
Isn't that how all goalies are chosen? Because no one wants to be the goalie.
No, I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I was the deck hockey goalie because no one wanted to be goalie with my glasses under my mask. Like, oh my gosh. Anyways,
And they were like, just give it a try. And I'm like, no, give it a try. No. And then I tried it at one practice and I'm like, wait, this is what I was denying all this time? And, over the years, I've been very fortunate to be able to progress to now a tier 1 level. I'm playing against people I've played against the Korean national team. I've played against the Chinese national team. I've played against people who play with Team Canada, Team USA.
wow.
I regularly attend USA selection camp. Trying to make the Paralympic team and the practice squad. Obviously, that's the magnum opus for sled hockey, because there's not like a professional league, but
Sure.
the Paralympics is
That's
the
it.
big thing. That's the big one.
That's the NHL of sled hockey,
Pretty
essentially.
much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Where has the sport taken you travel wise?
I think the furthest I've gone to right now is Canada, but it could once you get to the international level, it can take you pretty much anywhere. For me, I've gone to Michigan, Philly, Jersey. We were just in Long Island. I've been to Canada multiple times. California, Florida. It. I didn't think this sport was like all around the U.S. in Canada and like everywhere like it is, but you just gotta look and you'll find it.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
Dad, what do you think about all the travel?
I love it.
Good.
Yeah, we have a blast. That's kind of our thing that we do. You know, we hang out on the weekends. We go to hockey tournaments. Um, we have a good time. Yeah, I'm fairly passionate about it.
You knew nothing about it either when you got into it?
No, and when we got into it, I just wanted him to get some kind of activity. You know, I wanted him to, meet some people, have a friend circle. That was really the goal. Um, and then it kind of grew from there. Um, he'll he'll probably tell you I was a little bit tough on him.
As far as what? Tough how?
Well, I would ask him what he wants out of it, and as he started playing at a competitive level, not a tier one competitive level where he is now, but as he started to see his own progression, he expressed that he wanted to make our tier one team or maybe make the U.S. development team or the U.S. national team. And I told him, I said, well, that's fine if you want to get to that level, but I have to be honest with you. I can't tell you every time you come off the ice, everything is perfect. Everything you have to be able to take constructive criticism. Admittedly, I probably coached him a little bit hard, but I think it worked. We're getting there.
Well, I mean, I think a parent makes the best coach and the worst coach for their child because obviously you're biased. You are looking at your child differently than all the other players. You want your child to excel and do all the right things and be the best. So I understand your viewpoint on that. I coached all of my son's sports, all of my daughter's sports, and I deliberately tried not to play favorites with my children. They were always ones to sit. I wanted to play everyone else but my kids because I didn't want someone coming to me like, "Oh, you're favoring your kid." So we got rid of that excuse real quick. But so yeah, your dad taught you discipline and that things aren't always going to go your way, and it's going to be tough sometimes, but just to keep pushing yourself back up.
Especially as a goalie, it is not always going to go your way.
It's just like the kicker in football. The game's on the line, and it's unfortunately always going to be your fault if you lose in some cases.
The I remember he taught me this. Um, at the time, this was the USA goalie coach was talking to me, and he was like, "What's the most important shot?" And I said, "The next one. The next shot is the most important shot." And the goalie coach was like, "Where'd you hear that? That
That's
guy."
wow. How much hockey experience do you have? Or did you
Played
just learn as you
younger.
go? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I played when I was younger. I did a lot of different sports. I always take a very when it came to practice, you know, I I would tell Lance and the other players aggression and faster doesn't mean better. You got to slow down to go fast.
Yeah.
So I always wanted him thinking as a goalie, you know, and I still tell him that.
Yeah.
Do your movements slow in practice. They will get faster naturally. The game will start to feel slow as you get better.
That's good advice. So we've been talking to your dad a lot here. Tell me about your mom.
I love my mom. she she was pretty much the one who stuck by my she was by my side through pretty much all of my treatment. She was in the hospital room. She was there constantly. And cannot I can't imagine the stress that and just everything that she went through every day taking care of me at the hospital like that. She and even after, she took amazing care of me. She was wonderful.
Yes, Brent.
I have to interject here one thing. There's one thing that I need to say. Out of all the treatment that Lance received through Children's Hospital, the Children's Institute, the experimental vaccines, the brilliant doctors, we were blessed enough that Christine, Lance's mother, could stay home through his entire illness. And I will say this, that without that, Lance wouldn't be here.
Wow.
Without the care that his mother gave, Lance wouldn't be here.
That's amazing. Good job, Mom. I mean, how incredible is it to have a parent that is that supportive? Parents should be that supportive, but all parents aren't, unfortunately.
Right? No, it's and unfortunately, as from the multiple families that I have seen through the hospital and the institute, that's the unfortunate reality of the situation. Sometimes it's not every parent is there for their child in the same way that my mom was, and I'm grateful that she was there by my side through everything.
The older you get, do you look at things a little bit differently, like through your parents' eyes about what they went through? Because admittedly, it was all about you, as it should have been. But are you starting to think more about, oh, what my family went through and what that looked like?
He went into work every day. He didn't stop, and that was just like now as like an adult now I'm like, oh my god. And just like what my mom saw every day when like they'd take me like if they take me into surgery or something, or just like there was a time like I had a tube down my throat, like I couldn't even speak. Like it was just like the things that they had to deal with, because it's just like that kind of psychological like burden that's just like weighing you down. And I applaud you guys. I don't know how you guys did it.
I don't either. I mean,
I don't either.
you're never ready for something like that, ever. You can prepare for, a cut or a broken bone, but to hear that your child has 3 months to live twice, no one ever is prepared for that. I can't, I mean, I'm a parent of three. I would do anything for my kids. But saying that, you don't know what the anything can be until it's in your lap and you have to deal with it. But that's the ultimate sacrifice. A parent should be that one who sacrifices everything for their children. And there are shitty parents out there that don't. And I'm glad that you and Christine aren't. So, where is hockey going to take you? You said you were hoping to get into the Paralympics. Is that, your end goal? And how close are you to that?
To say how close I am is because there's a lot that can happen with, because I'm not the only goalie trying to make it right now. There's multiple others, so it's a competitive spot, and the other goalies who are trying to make it, I love those guys. Those are some of my best friends, and I try to keep a very level head with that of like, okay, these guys are at my level. These are some of my best friends. If they make it, good for them. I support them. I want to see them succeed, but I also want to be better than them. And I think that's the right mindset when it comes to competition like that. Like it is a game. I want to be better than you guys, but you guys are also my friends. I don't want to have a sport just ruin that.
Yeah. a good friend should want their friends to succeed, right?
Mhm.
They shouldn't be holding them back because they want to be better than them. Yeah, you're in a sport. The whole point is to win and to be the best. So yeah, you're going to feel like you want to be better than your friends, but you're not going to be bitter or resentful if they take it to the next level and you're still behind.
But to say where I want to take it, I want to make the Paralympic squad. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I know that I can only do the best that I like. I can only do my best, and whatever happens, happens. There are many outside influences that could.
Sure. Well, at least you understand that, and you're used to constructive criticism and things not always going your way. So you're going to be fine. You're going to college, right?
Yes, I am.
What are you studying?
IT and cybersecurity.
That's what I do. That's pretty ironic. I was just telling you that we had a little crisis at work, and I'm not going to get into detail because it doesn't matter. But we had a crisis yesterday afternoon, a Friday afternoon, and I was stuck on a call for 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, cybersecurity is fairly new to me. I've been an engineer for 24 years now. I've just got into cybersecurity over the last 4, but great field to get into. Same with IT. As everything is being digitized, the need for IT and cybersecurity is going to continue to grow. So you've made a good choice. How do you like it so far?
So far, I mean, I'm only like, because for a while I was just general studies, and I was just like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm 18. At the time I was 18. I'm like, what am I supposed to? How am I supposed to know what I want to do for the rest of my life? Um, so far, I'm really enjoying it. I've always kind of had like this fascination with like technology, and like even when I was young, I wanted to like install mods into video games on the computer or something. So I was like, I always kind of had like this kind of like interest in computers and games and like,
How things work?
yeah.
Yeah. Do you put the same effort into education as you do into your sport?
I don't want to say I don't, but it's this is a tough question because I do care about where my education takes me. But I feel like when you compare for me to others, like people had their opportunity in high school to be able to like play for the high school team and then go to college for their sport and then maybe to get drafted or to make a major junior team or something. For me, I and like they could do both at the same time. For me, it was kind of like, and this is how it is for a lot of slot hockey players, where they have to commit at those really young, like that young age, to make it to a higher level. I would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So I'm definitely trying to put in a lot of effort into my schooling, but I'm also trying to make it work with trying to make the Paralympic team and where I want to be as an athlete.
If you do make it to the Paralympics, is that going to change your view on your education and creating a career for yourself around IT and cybersecurity?
Well, this is an interesting question because this is kind of what I thought about when I chose that field. Um, Initially, I wanted to do like physical therapy. Then I wanted to do like some kind of psychology. Then I wanted to go into radiology. Then I wanted to go into nutrition and dietetics, which is the one I would have loved to do. But with the amount of schooling and stuff, I was just like, with where I want to be, I don't know if I can make this work. But with cybersecurity, at the very least, I'm going to get my associates, see where that takes me, and see where I'm at with the sport. If I'm not there, and if I think it's kind of like that part of like trying to make the Paralympic team or something is over, then I'll go to get my bachelor's, go to get maybe my master's, we'll see. Um, but I wanted to choose something that like I could do with hockey. And I feel like cybersecurity or IT, if I have a computer with me, if I'm at a tournament or something, odds are I can make something work while I'm there. So I have something where I can do the best of both worlds.
Yes, you could not be more correct. IT and cybersecurity can be done anywhere in the world. As long as you have a internet connection and a computer, you can do your job. Radiology, kind of need an X-ray machine or an ultrasound machine to do that, right? You can't take that on the road with you when you're playing hockey. But I mean, I think you made a good choice as far as keeping your options open and not throwing all your eggs in one basket between hockey and your education. You're kind of like doing both together. And if one thing takes the lead over the other, you're going to pivot a little bit. But yeah, I think if it's not up to me, but I think you've made a good choice.
Thank you.
Yeah. I know you do some work with, I'll say, charities and kind of getting the word out there about cancer and what you've been through. Tell me about some of those things that you've done.
So the big one, obviously, as I told you about a little bit, was so when I was going through treatment at Children's Pittsburgh, I met this boy named Connor. Connor was I think he was about 2 years younger than me. Um, and I at this time I never watched professional wrestling. I never watched WWE. I never watched anything. And he was in the playroom with the child life specialist there. Um, and they were playing with these WWE action figures. Connor was a huge WWE fan. I didn't know anything about it. So I was like, what's this? And then, we kind of started talking about it. And then I started like to watch it. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I was a little kid. I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Superheroes in a
Yeah.
way, right?
Um, and then I'd see Connor like throughout like when I'd go to treatment periodically. So I'd see him from time to time, and yeah, I love Connor. He was awesome. Um, and since he was such a big WWE fan, he wanted to meet his favorite superstar Daniel Bryan. And he did when they came to Pittsburgh. He met them, and he met like all of the superstars, and they just fell in love with him. And um, unfortunately, Connor passed away at 8 years old. Um, and in his name, the WWE started a charity called Connor's Cure, for pediatric cancer awareness. And they this was probably about maybe a year after I think they started the charity. They asked if I wanted to tell my story about how I knew Connor and how like Children's Hospital Pittsburgh saved my life, and if they could use the research from my story to try to help others. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. But I was like, looking back at it, I was also like 10 years old. I chose to do that, which I'm like, it's just like crazy to me. But yeah, that's the big like charity I worked with. I also did stuff with the Children's Miracle Network. I was the 2016-2017 champion for Pennsylvania. I think I'm getting that right. So I did a lot of stuff with the Miracle Network. Uh, I did stuff with WDVE. They do their radio. I don't know if they still do it, but the radiothon for
Mhm.
Children's Hospital. I did stuff with them. I had a lot of fun doing the stuff that I did, but I also, and we talked about this, I also don't want it to be like, wow, you're so lucky you got to do all this stuff. I want people to kind of understand the reason as to why I did all this stuff.
You're not doing it for fame, you're doing it for the message.
I like Look, I got to meet John Cena, and that's amazing. But I don't want to say like, oh, I met John Cena because the reason why is more important, like because of what I was doing for the cause.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your friend Connor. What kind of cancer did he have?
I believe it was similar to mine, brain tumor. I
Okay.
believe. I'm not entirely sure.
So when he passed, what was the age gap there between you and him?
I think he was 8, and I think I was 10. So it's not something you normally hear as a 10-year-old.
How did
And
how did that make you feel? Do you remember how you felt when you heard that news?
well, I just kind of saw it, and I'm like, and I don't think I really understood the gravity of it. I was just like, I said to my mom, I'm like, Mom, Connor died, and I don't think I really like got it until like maybe like a few years later. I'm like, oh my god,
So he
like
died of the same thing that you had.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe
Brent.
No, it was a different type.
it was.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it was. And kind of the way that Lance got involved with all this stuff was through this experimental vaccine called the peptide vaccine. So the peptide vaccine was for individuals that had a certain tissue type, that had a certain type of diagnosis that Lance had. Connor didn't even get the peptide vaccine. But when the WWE and the McMahons heard about this individual that was showing promising results from the vaccine, and that's where their money was going to fund this experimental vaccine. That's how we got involved with the WWE.
Okay. So the vaccine that you received was being funded by the WWE, and when they heard that you were getting better from it, they wanted to kind of showcase that and have you talk about it. So pretty amazing. Do you still keep in touch with any of the doctors at Children's?
Yes. Do you think I should name drop or
Yeah.
uh, Dr. Jakaki, Dr. Reggie Jakaki? That woman is my guardian angel. She saved my life. I don't think I've met a doctor who cared more about what they did than her.
Doctors are very special human beings. It takes a very special person to do what they do. To see their patients pass and to see them in their worst states, and they're doing this as a job. I don't know how they do it. My sister's a nurse, not that it's the same, but it is kind of the same. You know, you're connecting with your patients, and unfortunately they don't always survive. So good job, Doc. That's awesome that you stay in touch though. I mean, it just shows that that connection that they have with you, and you're not just a number to them. You're a person, and I'm sure they still want to see you doing well. So, how often do you get to see her?
Well, she has since like moved, but we it wasn't too long, like maybe a few years ago.
Yeah.
That we got to see her. I think the whole like our family went out to dinner with her. It was it was just really nice to be able to reconnect and just be able to see her again because I owe that woman my life.
Literally. Yeah. How often do doctors go out to dinner with their patients? I don't think that happens very often. That just shows how special of a connection that was. I had, not that this is any comparison to what you've been through, but last year I had clots in my leg. My whole leg clotted. And the doctor who did my procedure also said to me that I shouldn't be alive because my whole femoral vein was blocked from top to bottom. Not like one little clot blocking the whole thing. The whole vein was one big clot. And I'll show you some pictures when we're done. But he texted me after I had gotten home to check up on me multiple times. I'm just like, is this a thing? I'd never received that care in my entire life. I'm almost 47 years old. Luckily, I haven't been through too much medically, but I mean, I was like emotional that my doctor was texting me to check up on me to see
You
if I'm
build
doing well.
connections with them.
Yeah.
Like, cause like if you see them, like I saw my doctor pretty much. It felt like pretty much every day for my like a few years of my life.
Yeah.
So it's not like I just went like every 6 months or something and saw like my doctor for a physical or something. This was an everyday thing. And like same thing for the child life specialist, the nurses, like I saw and even the people at reception, like to check me in. I saw these people every day.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. That's the thing.
Mhm.
I saw him this one time for this one procedure, and I'm sure I was one of 100 that he did that week. But he still texted me like for the next few weeks, and I was I was blown away by it. That's the care that you get at Allegheny General Hospital. You don't get the same care at all hospitals, and I'm not going to name drop any other ones. But what other interests do you have that you want to talk about, Lance?
I mean, I love video games. Always been a gamer. Honestly, I think that's kind of one of the things that helped me stick around because of just how much I cared. And he said before he didn't want a son that was a gamer.
Not at all.
But I don't know how it really started. I remember playing. I think this is the first game I ever played was Mario Kart Wii with the wheel, and then just and then obviously at the hospital they had like Xboxes and they had the GameCube games I had mentioned.
All the things.
So it's
Yeah.
like this is awesome. Um and and at this point with like the tumor and everything, um my right hand, I have this thing called hemiparesis. So it affects the entire right side of my body. So I have like less dexterity in this hand as compared to this one. Um, and I had just had like if you can pay attention, it's my right arm is a bit is smaller than my left.
Yeah.
Um, so you know it impacted like my hand and stuff, and it was like clenched into a fist the whole time basically. But then I started to play games, and like as I'm hitting the buttons and stuff, and like using it, that was almost like a form of occupational therapy. And I think that's part of the reason why this hand. I mean, it may not look like much right like to people watching, but for me, this is like it was never like this before.
Does that make you feel like a jerk, Brent?
You know, this is the thing. The week before Lance got diagnosed, I was looking to buy him a motorcycle. You know, Lance was going to be a motocross racer, whether he liked it or not. He's going to race motocross. Um, and then everything happened, and then I didn't want him to be a video game junkie. I didn't want him sitting in front of the TV. I wanted him to be physically healthy, and active. Not that I didn't want him to enjoy video games. I just didn't want it to become an obsession. However, after everything that happened, the video games, he talks about the physical advantage that video games did with his hand, but mentally, it was a safe place for him. You know, he could go there, he could have fun, he could play, he could get online. Because at the time, physically, he wasn't able to do anything else. There were times where after his second surgery that he was basically a quadriplegic. I mean, he was just laying in a bed. You know, so it kept him sane.
So video games physically improved your dexterity, and it was a mental escape and like a distraction for what you had been through.
I would say so,
Yeah.
and it's that's I'm still a gamer. Unapologetically, I'm a gamer. I'm a nerd.
That's all good, man.
Yeah.
Takes one to know one. What's your game of choice or games of choice?
Super Smash Brothers,
Okay.
fighting game. Love it. Still play with my friends online all the time. So that's our thing. It's our thing. That I, I've always thought like, because I remember in like sixth grade, you want to be like you want to fit in and stuff. You want to be like Oh yeah, I want to dress like everyone. I want to just kind of I don't want to stand out. Then I kind of realized like it through like middle school and high school. I'm like, why should I have to try to be the same? Like I'm just gonna be unapologetically like I like what I like. I'm I'm a DC Comics fan. I love Superman. I love Batman. I love gaming. I'm a nerd.
Hopefully, Captain America up there doesn't trigger you.
I like Marvel too. I like Marvel too. It's not nothing wrong with that.
It's just a different universe. That's all.
That's it.
Um, Talk to me about your sister.
So, I don't know how my sister handled things whenever she kind of figured out that like oh my god like my brother has cancer.
Have you ever asked her?
I don't think it ever like really crossed my mind until like
As you're getting older, yeah,
yeah,
starting to.
it's like she was young too. It wasn't like she was like
An
an adult
adult,
at
right?
this point. I have a very good bond with my sister. I think as a sibling, because I like I've said like it's sometimes siblings can drift apart or they might not kind of like clash. We're we're very I think we're very close.
Good. You're lucky.
Yes, I am.
The last person I interviewed, Krista Lee, doesn't talk to her parents, doesn't talk to one of her sisters because they were toxic to her. And that's a real shame. Because to me, I grew up very normal childhood. Both my parents stayed together, got along with my sister. I can't fathom completely disconnecting communication from any family member. To some, that's their normal, but I I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but I think if that relationship ends up being worse off for you, it's just like a bad friend, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's best just to cut that off, even if it is your own blood. But what is your sister doing these days? I know she's older than you.
She is an operating room nurse,
Wow.
which I don't know how she does that. I mean, she talks about it like it's no problem.
It's just work for her.
No, it is.
Yeah.
But I'm just like
Do you think what you went through kind of motivated that?
I I think so. It she always used to talk about how she was really squeamish with like blood and stuff. But
So much for that.
look at her now.
Yeah, right.
Um I think it helped kind of I mean I don't want to say like oh I helped her get into this, but I think it definitely like helped her kind of choose what she wanted to do. I mean for a while I wanted to be in the medical field. But I kind of thought like also like I don't know if I want this to be my life, like just be surrounded by it constantly, considering how much I had it um throughout my childhood. But no, I think I helped like I kind of shaped what my sister was going into.
Maybe as far as like patient care, not so much for the exact profession, but just taking care of people.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's why I initially wanted to go into nutrition because I always thought like okay, cancer patients when they're done with treatment, they might have a hard time adjusting back to a normal diet. I understand what that's like. I understand like okay, you can't eat 7 grilled cheese sandwiches as a well, if it fits your calories maybe, but that's not that's not how
Yeah, that's
it
not the
goes.
recipe for performance
Right.
for most people.
So how can you maybe have a grilled cheese as a meal or as part of a meal, as part of your day, but also have a healthy diet as well?
So you're more of a macro guy, a sensible eating
I
guy.
try to be flexible with
Yeah.
things because I've like how can you be realistic? Because if I just cut out everything that I love,
You're not going to be a happy person.
No.
Yeah. That's going to be an unhealthy relationship with food. And you're too young to have an unhealthy relationship with food. You kind of already did.
Right.
You already lived that life.
Well, and because I was at one extreme of I was overweight, I was obese, I was pre-diabetic at like 10 or 11, which a 10 or 11-year-old shouldn't be pre-diabetic. And then I kind of discover what calories are, and then I'm like, okay, I just need to lower the number, lower the number, lower the number. I lost the weight, but then I got really skinny. And I was like 15 at this point, so I wasn't like, I mean, I was like still training and stuff, but I wasn't properly fueling my body as well. I got to 160 pounds, which for me isn't really the right
It's
number.
not the ideal weight.
No.
A little underweight.
So then I kind of like I need to, and now I'm like at that like good middle ground where I'm like I'm healthy, I can perform well on the ice, I can perform in the gym, and I have a good relationship with food.
It's a good place to be. I've seen you working out, man, and you move some weight. Like it's impressive and it's fun to watch. And it's fun to watch your dad there by your side all the time too. It's just like, I don't know. It just gives me the feels, and it's a good bond that you guys have. How has fitness changed hockey for you? Like, have you noticed that you are a better goaltender now? That you're fueling yourself properly?
I would say so. I think, I mean, it's not just the training that does it. It's also the diet as well. But since I have started weight training, I started weight training seriously probably in April or May of this year. I had like done like I have like power blocks at my house, as you know, most people. It's how most people I feel like get into it. Um, but for me, with my disability, I never really thought like I always thought like dumbbell pressing wasn't the best idea because if my left can go for more reps, my right is just gonna.
Fall behind.
Mhm. So I use a lot of machines and cables and stuff. Um, but I found that I'm a lot more explosive on the ice. I'm faster. I don't get tired as fast. Like I can go on the ice for like 2 hours, and I'm good.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's anything that you're not doing that you should be doing to be a better athlete?
Cardio. um,
Everyone hates cardio.
well,
And I'm not trying to like corner you with
No,
this
no.
loaded question, but you know, your dad said that he wants the best for you. He's your toughest coach. He's your worst critic. He's that, you know, that you got the devil here. Like you need to be better. Do you feel like you're giving it 100%? You have Olympics as your goal. Are you training as hard to be an Olympian?
I would say for the most part, I think one of my biggest issues is, and this is also partially because of being in school. This is the reality of being in school and trying to make your achieve your goals as an athlete. I think is recovery, sleep. Because if I'm gonna be up late doing an assignment, it's harder to get an adequate amount of sleep or the quality of sleep that I want to get as like to recover properly.
Okay. So you think not that school's getting in the way,
I wouldn't
but
say
it's a factor.
I wouldn't say it's getting in the way, but it's kind of like it. I wouldn't say they're conflicting either, but it's like trying to make both work at the same time is it's a challenge. It's doable, but it's a challenge.
Yeah. So you admit that you need to do more cardio.
I do need to do more cardio.
Well, next time I see you at the gym, you better be on that treadmill, buddy. You set yourself up. But seriously, I mean, you admit that you can be better.
Yeah.
We
I
all
think-
can be better.
Yes.
Right?
Everybody can do something better.
Yes.
I think.
If you don't make the Olympics, are you going to feel like, oh shit, if I just would have done that cardio, or if I would have trained harder, or if I would have eaten a little bit better, like, are you going to blame yourself for it?
I don't know, because like I said before, there are so many other factors that can go into it. If I show up to practice and do my best at practice, even if I don't feel like going to practice, or if I don't feel like I'm 100% out there, this is a good question. I think if I don't make it, I don't think I'll blame myself, because I think I hold myself to the standard that I know I'm putting in the effort needed.
Is this a one shot deal or can you try again?
I think there's a time frame to it. I started going to development camp when I was 15, and I think the rule of thumb for like a goalie is that they kind of stop developing when they're 25, give or take a few years. So
You still have another
there's some
chance.
time. There's time, I
Yeah.
think, but I want to get to that level,
Now.
obviously, as soon as possible.
Yeah. 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 Don't take, oh, I have another chance as
No,
your get
no,
out of jail free
no.
card.
It's like every year. It's next year, next year, next the next camp, next camp.
Yeah. What is your education goal? Say the hockey thing doesn't pan out. Like, where do you see yourself career wise? What's the dream job? You're 19. You're
Mm-hmm.
so young.
Mm-hmm.
Even you, like last year, you didn't even know what the hell you wanted to do. And rightfully so. I don't think too many 18-year-olds know what they want to do for the rest of their life. But if you could just tell me what your dream job looked like, what would it be?
My dream job would have been some type of something nutrition related. I love the field of nutrition. It's not that I don't like computers and I don't like IT and I don't like cybersecurity. It's just being able to help people like better their lives and better themselves and build habits like that is just because I understand how good it felt for myself to do that for me. If I can help other people do that,
It feels good.
yeah.
I do it. It feels amazing. I've helped probably 400 people, and I still do it. It's my third job, but I can't stop because it feels good to help people. If hockey doesn't pan out, you try again, still doesn't work. You have no choice but to focus on your career. Are you going to pivot back to nutrition? Or are you going to stick with IT?
I'll likely stick with IT. I mean, I'll see. I'll see. Obviously, I don't know. We'll see where things take me. I see myself sticking with IT because it's a good field. It is a good field, and I think I'll have a secure job. I mean, obviously, there's so many unknowns right now, but I think right now I'm far enough in it where I don't feel like backtracking because I've already I've declared what I want to do with my school, and I've just kind of been like I'm taking the classes already. I'll have to do that all over again, and then some because it's going to take longer to get a
Yeah.
good degree.
Yeah. Okay. If there's something that, is there anything your dad doesn't know about you as far as what you went through? Like, have you communicated things to your parents, or like, is there anything that, I know it's kind of like a weird question,
I
but
would I would say I communicated well. Like I don't think I
so I
don't
know, not to interrupt you, I know there's a lot of people that will mask their feelings because they don't want their loved ones to worry or to be upset. Was there any of that?
I don't think so. No. I don't necessarily remember like all of my because I don't necessarily think I thought about like how my parents felt at that time. I was just kind of like, "Oh, mom and dad. There's my sister. There's my family." But like I don't know. I don't think I necessarily thought like anything and never like communicated that.
There's a kind of a reason I'm asking you that very specific question because my mom is currently battling cancer for the second time. Um, she had breast cancer a few years ago. She rang the bell and it came back and it's spreading to her back and her legs, and she just had a PET scan Monday and they found new spots. And it's devastating as a son to know that your mom is going through all this and the treatments completely wipe her out. She can't sleep. She can't eat. She's in the bathroom every 30 minutes. It's just like, it's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ask her how she's doing, she says, I'm okay, honey. She doesn't want me to worry. I know she's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
How can she be okay? But she doesn't want me or my sister or my dad to worry. And that's just who she is. But it's just like, just tell me. Like, it's okay to not be okay. That's where kind of my girlfriend steps in, and like she'll ask her those tough questions and she will open up to my girlfriend about how she's actually feeling. But she's just that rock that won't break so other people aren't upset. So that's kind of why I asked you that.
I think that's strength. I think to kind of like show that she doesn't want you to be. She doesn't want you to worry. So she shows that strength of just. She's fighting.
I don't know how she does it. The woman doesn't complain ever. As she sits there miserable. I know she's miserable. She doesn't eat for days. How can you not be miserable? But I check in and I'm okay. I'm a little tired, but it's never more than that.
I think it's a mom thing.
Mothers are amazing, aren't they? Yeah, I don't know. Cancer's awful. There's always that why me, why my parent, why my best friend. Like, we'll never have those answers.
I think it's. I've always tried not to really dwell on that. Just it happens. It's just kind of. I mean, I don't want to say like, oh, it happens, but what can you do about it? There's nothing you can do
Yeah.
aside from get the treatment and then.
My viewpoint, and I'm not ultra religious or anything, but I do believe in a higher power, is God chooses the ones that can handle that pain to spare the ones that can't. I don't know. That's my thought process behind it. So, and my mom can handle it apparently. But if there's someone out there, Lance, that is either battling a terminal illness or a severe illness or is a loved one of someone who is, what kind of message do you have for them to hold on to hope?
I would say, like, find what you love to help you stick around and stay fighting. I had my family with me. I had the things that I love to help me escape this like I don't want to say my reality because I didn't really understand the reality of the situation, but I had my outlets to help distract me from what was going on and help me stick around and help me look forward to things. Try to find that for you, no matter what it really is, because it'll give you something to look forward to help you stick around and help you fight for something.
Support system is important, right?
It is.
And luckily you have your parents to be there for you. Not everyone does, as we've talked about. You say you didn't understand the reality of the situation back then.
Mm-hmm.
You were very young. You do understand it now.
Yes.
Like, you're old enough to be able to formulate those thoughts and know what you went through and the impact of, what that was. How, like, do you sit down in the day or go to bed at night and think like, wow, I'm very lucky? Or do you look at life a little bit differently now?
I look at life differently. Just like I don't like dwell on like small things. I'm just like whatever. I've had worse.
Yeah, sure have.
I'm just like I don't know. Anything that could happen to me is like I've already had something like so bad. Like I've had the magnum opus of not good things, so whatever else could happen, I'm just like
It's the ultimate form of perspective,
it is. Like
right?
perspective is key with these kind of things. Like, cause I don't know, like if someone hits a curb or something, they're gonna be like ah, but there's so much worse that could happen.
Yeah, there's someone watching this right now that got a flat tire, or their Amazon shipment didn't come in on time, or they were stuck in a long line of Starbucks. Like,
It
guys, is
sucks,
it really that bad though? Right?
and there might be someone watching this who's in a worse spot than I was.
Sure.
It's all about perspective.
Dad, what has this taught you about perspective?
So Lance can tell you if he agrees with me or not, but prior to Lance's diagnosis, I was like everybody else going to a 9 to 5 job every day, getting mad at traffic, getting, the examples that you guys just named. Um, Now I look at it as I'm one of the luckiest people in the world. My kids are healthy. My daughter's doing great. She has her career. She's going to school. She's living her life. Um, my son, who shouldn't be here, is thriving. He's going to school. He's training to be a Paralympic athlete. Um, you know, I would say I have a good relationship with my ex. We're not bitter at each other. We're friends. Um, I'm just I'm just pretty chill in my life right now. Say,
I
Lance.
agree. I agree. What we kind of have this, I guess, saying. It's just like we're just like it's what it is.
It is what it
It's what
is.
it is.
I don't I don't worry about the small stuff. I consider myself very lucky. Um, so yeah, that's my perspective has changed. Um,
So, in a crazy way, as bad as your situation was, it changed your dad's life for the better.
Yeah. I
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good lesson for everybody, right? Like a bad situation in the moment, sometimes it feels like it can't get any worse, but there's always a lesson behind it, right? And something positive can come out of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be doom and gloom all the time. My situation, I was told I should not be alive. You heard the same words. Your parents heard the same words. The next time I sat on the couch with my girlfriend and my pets and saw my kids hit different. How can't it?
It changes the way you look at things, and you're just like, wow.
Yep.
Like something you took for granted of sitting on the couch, thing you do every day. Now you're like, wow, I get to do this again.
I was crying as my girlfriend's laying in my lap and we're watching TV and I took a picture like this might not have happened ever again, you know? It's just wild. And then it also changed my viewpoint. I'm almost 47. I'm an old guy, but I'm still looking for new things to do in life, new challenges to take on. I did a dance competition a few weeks ago. Like, I've never danced in my entire life. I play the drums. I'm trying to become better. I'm going to probably start taking lessons. I'm playing with a band, doing gigs. Like, just because I'm getting older doesn't mean I should stop enjoying life. And I'm doing that more now than ever. It takes a big support system to be able to do that. I have 3 kids, 2 stepkids. If I didn't have a supportive partner that says, yeah, babe, do what you want to do what you love. That's who she is. Other partners would be like, you're going to do what? You're going to drum? That's stupid. You're going to buy what? You know?
I I think it says a lot about someone. You need to surround yourself with people who, if you tell them something and they're like, "Why are you doing that? Why you're doing that for what reason?" Are they your friend? Like, are they your friends? Are they your support system? Or
Yeah. No, it's true because look, as long as it's not going to kill somebody or make you go broke, give me a good reason why I shouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's just because you don't want me to, that's not a good
Why
enough
do you care
reason.
what someone else is doing?
Give me something more,
Yeah.
right? But is there anything that you didn't get off your chest? You're the youngest guest I've had, transparently. It's different talking to someone who hasn't, I don't want to say lived life because that's not the case at all. But most people I talk to have established careers and they have families and they've been through 3 marriages. You're just getting started. So, what's next for you?
I don't know because it's subject to change. Like when I was in high school and I heard people talking about like, oh, I'm gonna go study law, I'm gonna go study finance, I'm gonna go study business. I'm like, I'm thinking like, are you? Like, do you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna be doing in 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like you don't know what you're gonna do, but like things are going to change. Different opportunities are gonna arise, and some stuff might be taken away, some stuff might be given to you. You just never know what's really gonna like arise in your life.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to be drinking bourbon, Lance.
No, we are not.
In 2 years, you're going to come back and we're going to have some. What do you say? And Dad, you can have some too. But there is one last thing we have to do, Lance. We're going to arm wrestle. What's your strong side?
My
Your
left is my strong
Then
side.
that shall be what we use. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Strong.
Yeah, I could
He
feel that.
is.
So this is my weak side. I have a
Oh.
herniated disc in my neck. This is not. I'm not making this up. But I have surgery scheduled for like maybe 2 months or so from now. But you mentioned your arms are a different size.
Yes.
So are mine.
Ah.
My left arm is probably 1.5 inches smaller than my right arm. But what are you gonna do? But yeah, you're
What are
gonna
you
start
gonna
when
do?
you're ready, and I'm gonna ask you a question. It
Yeah.
is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Hey Lance, as young as you are, do you have any regrets?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm
What would you regret?
not taking high school more seriously.
Not
Not
applying yourself?
not applying myself properly.
Do you think that would change where you are today?
I think yes and no because I.
Okay, I'll let you answer.
All right. All right.
You're like, when is this going to be over?
Um. Because I think it would have opened up more opportunities to go to different schools. But I was also like, I was never so focused on like, oh, I'm gonna go to this school. I'm gonna go to this school. And there's nothing wrong with going to
Like a prestigious
right.
school.
No, but I was just never like I saw my sister go to. She went to CCAC. She doesn't have any debt. I'm like, I'm gonna do that.
Mm-hmm. And she's a freaking surgeon,
Yeah.
right?
So, operating room nurse,
Or
but
nurse, I'm sorry.
but
Yeah.
she helps surgeons. So I'm just
She
like,
does a great job.
yeah. So I'm just like, and I was never. I'm not like into the whole like go to school to go party and stuff. I'm not a party kind of guy. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna stick around here. Go to school, get my degree, just train for hockey, and just get like, just keep living my life how I like it.
Yeah. I have a lot of guests who are, again, much older than you that have gone to college or did a trade. It's funny how many have a different view of college than I had growing up. College was the next step
Mm-hmm.
for my generation. That's just what you did. Trade schools weren't so popular, plumbers, electricians, all those things. Now it's very popular.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of ways to make money these days, especially with social media and technology.
That's something I'm trying to do. The personal brand is it's just getting bigger and bigger at this point with people.
Yeah.
Not just not. I'm not saying me, but like everybody. Like you look at someone with like a million subscribers on YouTube. It's. I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but if that's what could happen for me,
You said you're getting into video editing. Tell me about that.
yeah. We whenever we go to the hockey tournaments, he's kind of my camera guy. He mounts the GoPro to the glass behind the net, and like I'll put like together like save compilations and stuff, and post the clips to TikTok and Instagram and stuff, and like like we've talked about, just kind of like consistency of uploading. I uploaded one clip on TikTok and it got 170,000 views.
Well, you're a jerk because of everything I've uploaded over almost 2 years. I've never got that many views on one
Oh
thing.
my god.
So good job, buddy. Whatever you did, you're doing the right thing. Maybe I should be getting pointers from you. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It is a consistency. If you're passionate about it, it doesn't matter how many views it gets.
And
Right.
and it's also like I just kind of like doing it. I want more people to see sled hockey. It's a relatively unknown sport, and the more people I can get to see it, maybe we can grow the game more. Maybe we can get more players. Maybe eventually we can get a pro league. That's what I really want to see.
How crazy would it be if you were that advocate that kind of started that whole thing? Do you know any? What's obviously it's not a professional sport, but are there any sled hockey players that are like looked up to currently?
Yes.
Who?
Uh, Jack Wallace, Declan Farmer. Declan Farmer's the best sled hockey player in the world. He's no joke. Pretty much anybody on Team USA. Those guys are good.
Have you met any of them yet?
Yeah, I've played against them. I mean, they're solid.
So you're playing against the best in the world at your sport already. That's going to make you a better athlete.
I've always been like, I want to play against people better than me. That'll make me better as an athlete. When I started practicing with the team I'm with now, this is it's the we call it the senior elite team. I was 13 because they needed a goalie for practice. So they started calling me to come to practice, and I'd say by like 14 or 15, I was much more like up to their level. But it was, I mean,
Getting there.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have a lot more I think I'm capable of. But the younger I got exposed to that game, the against better players, it made the level I was playing at consistently at the lower level, it slowed it down like crazy. It was so much slower. And it made me a better athlete. And when I got to that tier 1 level, it just kind of like I don't feel out of place there. If that
Okay.
makes sense.
What makes someone choose sled hockey? I know why you chose it, but why does someone choose sled hockey over conventional hockey?
Well,
Is
You-
it
you-
geared towards?
it is an adaptive sport. It is geared towards those with physical disabilities.
Okay.
You can play it if you are fully able-bodied.
Is that frowned upon?
Yes. But why? Why would you like?
That's like I'm going to go there. That's like a man identifying as a woman, wrestling another woman, right? Kind of the same thing. You obviously have more physical ability than 99% of the other players out there. Why do you want to be that dominant person?
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Go find your own sport. Stay in your lane.
like there's one dude in Carolina who I get it. I get his situation because his brother plays, and he's just playing at the club level, and they're both like my age, so it's like it's something for fun that they do as his brother's on the national team, and so I get that. Like,
He's doing it as a hobby.
yes,
Yeah.
but I just don't understand, like, why are you not playing regular hockey?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
So they're out there. I mean, whatever. It makes you feel better.
Yeah. Whatever helps you sleep at night.
It is what it is. Lance, do you have any questions for me before we wrap up? I know I did a lot of the asking.
Where do you see this podcast in a year?
I don't know what my end goal really is with this. I love doing it. I love meeting new people. That's why I do this. I love the fact that your story is going to help at least one person, probably thousands, but at least one. That's all I ask for. If I didn't enjoy doing this, I wouldn't be doing it. Right? I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this for fame. I'm doing this because you're the 79th person in my home, almost complete strangers, telling
Yeah.
me their life stories. When's the last time you sat down and you talked to someone for almost 2 hours without any distractions?
I don't know. I haven't even touched my phone. Like, that's not.
It's not a thing these
No.
days. We just got to know each other without any distractions. And that just doesn't happen these days. Everything is just DM me. We don't even pick up the phone and call people anymore,
No.
right? Everything's DM, text, snap, whatever.
I'll fax you.
Fax. You even know what a fax is. Jeez, what a weirdo. But yeah, we don't connect in person anymore. We all have ADD, I think. Honestly, I can't be in a room with a lot of people without going like this. And I hate that. It's so hard to focus on one thing, and we're forced to do that here. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. To answer your question, just to keep helping more people. I've had people sit in your seat that have confessed to things that their own families don't even know about. And for them to be able to get that off their chest that they've been holding on to for, 25 years of their life, that's a big deal. I've had grown ass men, Dougie Flex, sit there and cry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I jokingly said, this is Joe Rogan meets Dr. Phil. I mean, in some cases, it's kind of like a therapy session, right? Like, you get to talk about things that maybe you'd be afraid to tell your family members or your closest friends about because you don't want to be judged or you don't want to hear their opinion. Because let's face it, mom and dad, they have strong opinions. And if you say something to them, they might say things a certain way, whereas an unbiased ear would listen differently and respond differently, right? So
I go to therapy for that reason. I think it's important for people to go to therapy. Get things that are get things off your mind. I don't think there should be any shame in going to therapy.
yeah, our minds control our entire being. And if your mind isn't functioning right, nothing's going to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously I want to get more subscribers and more
Yeah.
views, and who wouldn't? I put so much time into this that obviously I want it to succeed. I'd love to get that silver 100,000 subscriber plaque one day, and I will, because I'm not stopping.
No. Why would you?
I have no reason to. This hasn't failed me. It's only helped my life. It's made me look at people differently. Lance, this is a straight up confession. When I saw you for the first time, I made my own opinions of you.
Mm-hmm.
You were obviously different. I didn't know why, but you were.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's been through something. I don't know what it is. Hearing your story, obviously I know what happened to you. I don't see that anymore. You said you want to be on equal playing field.
Yeah.
That's how I see you now. Most people that see you for the first time might view you differently, just like I did.
Yeah. I just want to be another dude.
And that's all you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're the same as anyone else to me now. And it's hard to admit that, but we're human.
Yeah.
Right? People judge me. People judge your dad without getting to know them, right? But
You don't know somebody until you've sat down and talked. I feel like I still don't even know people I've known for years.
Yeah. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask those tough questions. How do you feel? And if they say fine, say no, how do you really feel? Get them to open up. Getting someone to talk to you, it's crazy what you learn, and it's crazy how much it might help that person. So, yeah. On that note, watch this episode because you're going to love it. Like the video, subscribe. That's all it takes. A little click. It's super easy and it's free. And I will see you on the next episode of Barbells and Bourbon. Peace. That's it. We did it.